I promise y'all, I could not make this up even if I tried. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today I bring you an update on the whole kerfuffle that went down on the set of The View the other day involving Vice President Kamala Harris. Now, before I get into the update, I got to back up a little bit here to explain to you what's going on, just so we're on the same page with each other. Now, a few days ago, Kamala Harris was going to go on the set of The View for a live interview. I'm not sure what the questions are going to be. We'll talk about what they could be a little bit later. But anyway, it was going to be live, studio audience, no Skype, Zoom, nothing like that. But the moment before she was going to come out, the second before she was going to come out, the show producers single out co-hosts Ana Navarro and Sunny Hostin and say, hey, you guys, come off the set right quick. We'll bring you back a little bit later. So they were totally off the show for a little bit of time. And later on, they said that they had tested positive for the virus. Therefore, they couldn't be on the stage at the same time when they bring out the vice president. Now, the whole way that went down and everything, I'm like, okay, this has got to be a stunt. This is not even really real. I knew right away that it was not what they were saying. And now we have confirmation that it was not what they were saying. Now, before I go any further, let's roll the clip. In this clip, you'll see what actually went down, what's actually happening. After we get done with that, I'll come back. I'll talk about what was said and revealed there. Then I'll give you the rest of my 2 cents, my deep detail analysis, and then I'll wrap it on up with a nice bow on top. So without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Right out of the gate today, The View took on the hot topic of last Friday's unexpectedly chaotic show. On air, co-hosts Sunny Hostin and Ana Navarro were asked to leave the set because they'd tested positive for COVID-19.
I need the two of you to step off for a second.
Okay. Anna and
we're going to bring
Sunny.
you back later.
The moment especially concerning because Vice President Kamala Harris was to make her first in-studio appearance since the election. Well, it turns out the test results were false positives, and both hosts are actually COVID-free. This morning, Hostin became emotional as she described how her surgeon husband was pulled out of the operating room and her child out of class after that false positive was announced on live TV.
Not too long ago, I delivered the eulogy at my in-laws' funeral. So you can imagine how I felt thinking that I could possibly be COVID positive and my family could experience another loss.
The co-host thanked viewers for weighing in with well wishes, though they said not all of the feedback was positive, some downright mean. Donald Trump Jr. tweeted, "Given the Ana Navarro news, I think it's time for a national conversation about the dangers of COVID-19 and obesity." Navarro fired back.
I know that when you are a dimwit with no skill or talent or significant accomplishments, living off your father's fame and name and fortune, you've got to draw attention to yourself.
The show host also had a message for Vice President Harris. Please come back.
All right, so you saw that, you heard that. Now, am I surprised? No, I'm not. No, I am not. I think we all knew that what was going on was not real. It wasn't real. They're going to say, oh, it was an accident, it was a mistake. But I got a question. I have several questions. But the first one is this. What are the chances you have two, not one, but two false positives at the exact same place at the exact same time? In the moment before Vice President Kamala Harris comes out, and she didn't even come out, because here's the other part, the weird part that made me think this has got to be a stunt. They took Sunny Hostin and Ana Navarro off the stage. Now, they had been on the show before that, just talking, and all the cooties and whatnot is jumping around, flying around and whatnot. They are not very far from the audience. They're not very far from the other co-hosts. They're not very far from anything. So if you take them off, they were still spreading whatever they were spreading. So why just them? Why not the entire production? Why not just make the interview be remote, which is what they did anyway. So if it was a remote interview, why does it matter if anybody has a virus? You're not going to be able to transmit that through the internets, through sound waves or anything of that nature. So what's the purpose in taking them off the stage? My thoughts were that it was a stunt to promote the bug, right? That's what it was, because, you know, they want to push it down your throat. If you don't have it, they want you to go get it. They want to promote that. So it makes sense. Talking about, oh, well, they pop positive, but they'll be okay. And they got the vax and they won't go to the hospital, all this, that, and the third, right? To me, that was kind of what made sense. But there's more here, because I was also thinking a little bit, and I said it a little bit in my other video, but I didn't really dive into it. I'm like, maybe they could have been picking on Sunny Hostin and Anna Navarro. It could be a race thing because Sunny Hostin is like some kind of mixed race, biracial or whatever. And Anna Navarro is Hispanic from Nicaragua. So I'm thinking, all right, maybe there's something going on with that. Or they could spin it into that. I don't really believe it was a race thing, but that could easily be spun because you take off the two quote unquote people of color, although Anna Navarro was white, but anyway, and you leave the two white hosts on there. So that could have been a thing, but it wasn't. So I'm like, what other reason could there be? Now, shout out to Lovely T 2002, great YouTuber. Shout out to her. She made a great observation. And I kind of thought this too, but I didn't really put it together until I saw what she said. Sunny Hostin is a person who has been very critical of the Haitian response at the border because her husband has a Haitian father, right? Her husband's father is from Haiti. Now, her husband's mom is from Spain, so she's white, but her husband's father is Haitian. And she's had some very strong words about the treatment of Haitians at the border. Check it out.
Well, I think the reason that we're not seeing more help, if I'm going to be frank about it, is because they're Haitian. I think that is the history.
Explain, please, to the...
Well, we saw it, and you and I talked about this, Whoopi. We saw it when it first came to the demonizing of Haitians when it came to the AIDS crisis.
That's right.
And then we saw it continuing. It really began with the pilfering of France by Haiti and the punishment of Haiti for becoming the first Black free nation in our hemisphere. And I think that U.S. policy towards Haiti has always been corrupt. And it doesn't have to be that way because we know that the United States can do it. There is a way to do it. There's just no will to do it because the United States and the White House has promised to bring 95,000 Afghans here. And I'm not saying they shouldn't be brought here because they should be, right? That is the promise of this country. But if you can bring 95,000 Afghans here, then why are you sending 86 Haitians back on an airplane?
So maybe the whole thing was, okay, we can't have Sunny Hostin here because we don't want to have any tough questions given to Kamala Harris because let's be clear, I'm not sure about what they were going to ask her, but Kamala Harris is, number one, in the administration as a vice president, but number two, she is the border czar. So this whole thing about the border is right on her back. And her father, Kamala Harris, that is Jamaican. So you got some Caribbean connections. I think Sunny Hostin is Puerto Rican and Black as far as her nationality. Her husband is part Haitian, so you got a lot of Caribbean mix. They're trying to connect on that level. It could be a very tough interview for Kamala Harris. So maybe they didn't want to take Sunny off by herself, so they took Anna Navarro as well. Might as well. She's claiming to be conservative, although she's not conservative. Claims to be conservative, might give her a hard question here and there. Let's take them off and then have the softball questioners like Joy Behar and another lady leave them on and it'll be fine. That's what it seems like. I think to me that makes the most sense. You're using the virus as an excuse and really kill two birds, one stone, right? Promote the bug and no tough questions, in and out, easy peasy, easy breezy. You understand? That's kind of what it seems like to me. And it wouldn't be the first time this has happened. We've seen Joe Biden literally have a sheet of paper where he'd be at a press conference, right? And the paper would have who's going to call on and their name and their picture, all that right beside it. He even said, I've been instructed to call on X, Y, and Z person. Go ahead. So he's not even trying to hide it. It's not even a conspiracy theory. It's nothing but what he said out of his own mouth. So if he is being controlled in this way, I would not be surprised if Kamala Harris is the same way. And if Kamala Harris's team were trying to control the narrative by taking off Sunny Hostin and Anna Navarro for good measure, what other reason would you take people off of a Skype or whatever interview? Because she didn't come out on stage. It wound up being a remote interview anyway from quote unquote backstage. And I'm not really sure she was there, but maybe she got there and realized, oh, they're still there. I don't want to talk to them. Maybe somebody panicked, did a last minute little Google search on Sunny Hostin. Oh, I don't want to talk to her. Get her off and try to figure out a way to make it look like we're not targeting her. This whole thing is crazy, but not unexpected. And I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? How do you feel about what's happening? Do you think that this was done to prevent Sunny Hostin from being out there and asking some tough questions? Whatever your thoughts on that are, let me know in the comments below. You guys pretty much know why I'm saying I think this whole thing was done for a particular reason. And removing a tough questioner is probably why it happened. It wasn't because it had to, but because it didn't. And what are the chances that you have not one, but two false positives at the exact same time in the exact same place? How does that really happen? And no one else has a false positive? Nobody on set, not Joy Behar or the other woman? And why does it matter if you're doing a remote interview anyway? Let's just be real. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.